So we're going to start with our wrist mobilization. So one of the main ones is just wrist in a circle, but the emphasis here is to go really slow. A lot of people just want to flow right through it or like move through it really quickly, but you're really not getting the benefits out of it. So let's see, do your wrist rolls. And just like, you know, kind of like what we teach here is stay out of any like painful ranges, you know. If something says you pain, don't go into that range, right? So get both sides about 30 seconds.
Can you teach somebody this before you do the loading distance?
Yes. The next one.
Basic one?
Yeah. The next one is going to be a wave. So you start with lifting the elbows, fingers interlocked. Start with lifting one elbow at a time, letting the wrist flex, and then letting it travel into the next one. And then you're going to go backwards and forwards. A lot of people struggle with this one. I used to when I first started. Yeah.
I can see someone else struggling.
That's why I kind of teach it. Yeah, start with the elbow first. Just let the wrist flex. Yeah, let it just travel through both wrists, right? Yeah. Yeah. Caitlin. So the next one. Yeah. The next one is going to be a stretch for the lateral part of your wrist. So you're going to keep your fingers interlocked and move them forward, emphasizing keeping your palms down. And once I start lifting my palms, I'm not getting the same result. Yeah. And you don't have to extend your elbows all the way out. Like, that's fine. It's just as far as you can go with keeping your palms facing forward. And you should feel a stretch along the outside of your wrist and your pinky. Don't feel it? I don't feel it that much, but I do feel a little bit. And I've talked with other people who feel it a lot more. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. Yeah, and that's okay if you can't, because then your hands started coming up. Another one, which is one of my personal favorites, are magnetic wrists. So you start with your wrists touching, and exactly as it sounds, you want them to stay touching the whole time, like there's magnets keeping them together. So we'll start by bringing the thumbs in, and then rolling, extending the elbows, rolling the back of the hands together, keeping the wrists in contact, and then bring it back to start. And you're just gonna keep repeating that for a few. And then we're going to reverse it. So we're going to start with the pinky instead of the thumb. This one's one of my favorite. And then another one is, this one I don't feel as much, but some people might, is wrist relief position. So at any time that you're actually doing a flow, you can just get into this and it should provide some relief on your wrist, like almost immediately. And obviously the higher you bring it up and the lower you can get your elbows, the more you're going to feel it. So this one helps some people. And then the other ones that, you know, like I said, are just general here. We don't have to go through them now, but they're ones that we already coach. All directions, you know, circles, hand, fingers pointing in towards each other, all of these guys. So that's the wrist mobilization. We're going to start with crab. I'm going to teach you crab first. So crab is like our tabletop. So what I want to do is find my perfect M with the side of my body. So to have someone get started, feet about hip width apart, fingers behind me. This is one where if somebody doesn't have the shoulder mobility to get their fingers pointed directly opposite of their toes, you can either have them bring their shoulders out a little bit, or it's okay if they don't have their fingers, they can turn their hand a little bit more to be able to get there, right? But yeah, you want hands, toes, fingers facing the opposite of your toes, right? So to get started, I'm literally just gonna slide my butt a few times back and forth and then just stop. That's kind of where you find that midpoint for your body to find that perfect M. I'm gonna pull my shoulders back, so this is that retraction that I get, keeping my chest out, and I'm gonna look eyes towards the horizon. So if I'm watching a sunset, right, I'm not looking straight ahead forward, or if the sun like is setting, it's not gonna be straight forward, it's gonna be slightly up, right? From there, I'm gonna corkscrew my hands in so my elbows are nice and straight. My scaps are retracted still, I'm gonna push my feet into the floor and I'm gonna lift my hips. Doing that, I'm gonna light up my glutes, my hamstrings, my upper back's working, right? In 3, 2, 1, set it down.
Just went numb.
Where? And your wrists?
Your inside of your elbow pointing outwards?
Yes, if you can. But if somebody can't,
Yeah, yeah.
it's okay to have them here. Yeah.
So I don't do anything like glutes,
Or
only
them.
upper back only.
You only felt your upper back?
Only glutes?
Yes, squeeze
Uh-huh. Yeah, you have to actively squeeze it.
it. Ow.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and the thing here is not really getting into a posterior tilt, but kind of keeping it anterior to keep that out, right? So we're not in this like for long or too repeatedly. So from there, one of the limb lifts, if I lift my right arm, I'm lifting it straight up without bend. I'm not bending at the elbow, right? So I'm just wanting to lift, and now I'll lift the left. And like trying not to move the body too much, right? Yeah, lifting it straight up just from the shoulder. And then you can do it with your feet as well. So if I'm here, I'm just gonna lift. The feet are easier to lift one than the hand. And you just wanna lift it ever so slightly that you could slide a piece of paper underneath, right? So we're not lifting it super high. And that's also gonna fire up the posterior chain just by doing that because your body has to stabilize itself, right? Now we can go into contralateral. So I'm gonna lift my right hand and my left foot at the same time for a second, set it back down, and then do the opposite. Yeah. Taylor had to really think about that one. Awesome. So now we'll go into, from there, into under switch. So whatever leg I call, that's the leg that's gonna go under your body, right? It's called an under switch. So I'm not bringing it over, but I'm literally gonna take it under. So I'm gonna set crab. So I'm in my crab position. I'm gonna go right leg under switch. So how I'm gonna start that movement is I'm gonna lift my right foot and my left arm. That's my contralateral. I'm gonna press on the gas. That means I'm gonna lift my heel of my left leg. So I'm on my toes, right? I'm gonna keep my limbs close to my body. So my arm and my leg, I'm gonna bring in close to my body, using my core to rotate, staying stable on my right shoulder. I'm gonna bring that leg under my body, and then I'm gonna come, as I travel under, I wanna land my hand and my foot at the same time. That's one of the details, is lift contralateral limbs, whenever you're lifting them, lift and land them at the same time, right? So if I'm here, I'll show it a little bit more. Now this should be about my perfect beast for my body, right? So hands are on the shoulders, knees are slightly in front of the hips, forward a little bit more belly button. But now I'm in my beast position. That's an under switch from crab to beast, and then you can also do it from beast to crab. But for this, in the sake of time, I'm just gonna show from crab to beast. So we can try that. We'll do a few, like 3 reps on each side, okay? Yeah, and that also should have been, could have been your break from on your wrist as well. Right leg, under switch. So your right leg, you just did left leg, under switch. Your right leg is gonna come under your body. So right leg and left arm are gonna lift up. You're gonna keep them close in, tight to the midline of your body. There you go.
What do we do? Do we just
Perfect, yep. Yep, and then you just relax.
You're laughing at me, Kate.
Can relax.
Do we just-
Yep. Now, if we do that, let's do it one more time to the other side. Let's do left side. So do left leg under switch. So set crab, left leg under switch. Lift the opposing limbs. Well, there we go. And then you're in beast and you can relax. Nice. Taylor, try to land your foot. Your feet landed kind of like this, like really close. Try to land them just a little bit further, about hip width apart. Like you would if you were to just go into beast. Better, there you go. So now from beast, we can practice the opposite. Actually, because we do need to do that. So we'll practice the opposite. So am in set beast, I'll lift up. So beast is just like our bear crawl, right, that we already have here, that we already teach here. So I'm just lifting my knees just slightly off the ground that a piece of paper could slide under it, right? So I'm bracing my core, keeping my back flat, staying strong in my shoulders so that I'm not bending at my elbows. From there, I would do the same thing. Set beast, left leg, under switch. I'm gonna lift my left leg and my right hand. I'm gonna keep everything tight to the midline of my body, bring my left leg under me, and now I'm in my crab position, right? So you can do under switch, beast to crab, and crab to beast. Nice, Heather.
That's right.
Yeah. Did it feel right? One of the common mistakes is that a lot of people want to go over their body, like we teach in the all fours to tabletop. They want to bring whatever that leg is over, but that's the good thing about the language of animal flow. It literally is telling you how to move, right? Under switch, bring it under you. Nice job, guys. Good. And one of the details too is to press on the gas. So lift that heel and turn. That was one of the things I personally struggled with, like before I learned all of the details, was I want to lift my heels before traveling. I would just lift and go, but it really makes a difference and help you to pivot on the ball of your foot and your toes as you're traveling. So that's one of the details. Now, we'll go into a side kick through. So side kick through comes from the beast position. So if I'm in beast here, if I do a right leg side kick through, first thing I'm gonna do, lift my opposite limbs, right leg, left hand. I'm gonna turn, pivot on my left foot. Once I see, this is a detail, once I see that my toes are pointed perpendicular to where they started, then I can kick my leg through. And I'm gonna bring this arm back. This is my counterbalance. One of the regressions, or one of the starting points at least for people for this, is as I'm coming under, they can just sit right here and then come back. So this is a good way to drill how to at least get into this position, because then they can always kick through. And that's another regression too. They can just stay on the floor. You don't have to lift up. If somebody doesn't have the strength or stability, or they're too afraid, or whatever the case may be, they can just stay on the floor, slide, slide. But as I bring that, kick that leg through, I'm externally rotating, pointing my toe, and then this arm is my counterbalance. Staying strong in this base shoulder. This was called the base hand. Staying strong in my base hand, pulling this back like I'm about to shoot like a bow and arrow. Okay? Now to come back, I'm gonna press on the gas on my base foot, tuck that leg, come back under me.
You tuck it under before you start turning, or you just bring your arms into the turn?
As you're turning, kind of, yeah. Yeah, as you're turning. You're gonna bring them into the midline of the body and then rotate. We'll do both sides. Step beast. So when I say step beast, that's when you lift your leg, knees slightly off the ground. Right leg, side kick through. So your right leg's gonna come under you. I see you, Heather. You held it nicely. So the goal is try and use, actually this floor is great that we have the lines here. Try to use the lines as a guide. Good hip mobility. I'm gonna be able to come in a straight line parallel to, or actually 90 degrees to the direction that I started. There we go. Nice, Caitlin. Good. And if you might, well, you might not notice here, but in the side kick through, my fingers are staying pointed on my base hand. They're staying pointed perpendicular to my toes. So my base foot, my toes are pointing to that wall. Now my hand, my fingers are pointing to that wall, right? So in one of the other moves, the front kick through, it's opposite, not opposite, but your toes and hands will be facing the same way. So like that's one of the details. So right and left leg side kick through. Loaded beast is just that. So if I'm in beast, set my beast, load my beast, send my butt back to my heels, walk my hands forward, head drops through. This is loaded beast position, okay? Yes, knees are slightly off the ground, just ever so slightly that you could slide a piece of paper under it.
Your hips go back and move your hands forward.
Yes, so it's hips, walk hands forward, here. Yep. And that you also want to try to activate your glute means there too, because you'll just get more work out of it, and it's going to help you to also try to keep your knees up off the floor. So let's try to piece that together. So we'll start in crab, we'll do an under switch into loaded beast. Okay? So I'm going to set crab, right leg under switch. I'm sorry, into side kick through, not into beast. Set crab, right leg under switch, into left leg side kick through.
You keep rotating.
Yes, so that's where the language comes, where I say into left leg side kick through. If I just were to say right leg under switch, that just takes me to beast. So since I said right leg under switch into side kick through, I'm going to keep going. That's what makes it fluid.
So you're not ending when you're starting off, you're ending like 270 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes it,
And that's where these lines.
a very good, like, cognitive exercise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you say it?
Yes. Set crab. Right leg under switch into left leg side kick through. Nice. Good. Yep. That arm is a counterbalance. Now you can relax. There. Taylor got out of it so quick.
For your shoulder and hip mobility.
Yeah, my hips.
It
are-
is.
You got some really good hips.
Well, this has helped so much. 2
Yeah.
years of this. Yeah. Let's try the other side. So we'll do left leg under switch into right leg side kick through. Set grab. Left leg under switch into right leg side kick through. Nice. Externally rotate, Heather. That leg. Yeah, there we go. So now we'll go from that side kick through position. Let me do it this way. Side kick through here. I'm going to call under switch again. So I'm going to press on the gas. Now instead of coming here, right, because that's what you guys just learned, instead of coming here, I'm just going to go right into loaded beast. So I'll come and just go right into my loaded beast. Does that make sense? So instead of coming here, stopping, and then setting back, that leg, I'm tilting it, and my butt is going to go right back, and then my hands are just immediately going forward. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Now from there, I'll show you real quick, since you already learned loaded beast, we'll do a wave unload. Wave unload starts in loaded beast. I'm going to start by lifting my hips. I'm not going to lift all the way because my hamstring, but you guys lift all the way.
Like, you want to lock out your legs?
Not completely, but close to it, yeah. Get your hips as high as you can with a slight bend in the knees, and that's called the peak position. So if I come up, hopefully you guys are a little bit higher, hips up, heels as high off the ground as you can, right? And then I'm gonna wave my spine, one vertebrae at a time, shifting my weight forward, keeping my chin tucked. Once my hips drop, shoulders unroll, chin comes up last. Now load your wave. Chin tucks first, then my shoulders protract. Then it's one vertebrae at a time. Back to that peak position, then I drop my legs.
Great shoulder stability and mobility.
Thanks. And this is where you learn to control your body, because a lot of people just want to go, or they want to go into downward dog. And it's the complete opposite, because we want that wave through your spine, right? And this is where it can come really good to learn how to segment your spine from piece to piece.
All right, that's good for spinal mobility.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're starting loaded beast.
So let's start actually Start in that side kick through position. Okay, we're gonna piece it together. We'll start here. So start in your side kick through. We're gonna under switch. I don't know what leg you guys are all starting with. I'm opposite of you. We're gonna under switch.
We're all the same. I don't know what you're doing.
Under switch into loaded beast. So bring it under. Yep, right into that loaded beast. Perfect. Now wave unload. Lift those. Yep. Lift those hips up. Heels as high as you can. Think one vertebrae at a time, shifting your weight forward, keeping your chin tucked until your hips drop, shoulders roll up, shoulders open up. Oh. And now load your wave. Tuck your chin, shoulders, and then let the spine of your weight, let the wave of your spine be what lifts your hips back up.
So I felt I was too close at first. Maybe it was just my mobility.
Definitely
Too-
mobility, because I felt the same thing, but I was fine.
Too close?
I was like, oh, I'm gonna fall forward, and then I was fine.
Too close? What do you mean?
Like I felt my wrist.
Yeah, like you were doing
Oh,
that.
oh yeah,
I felt the same way.
yeah, because you're shifting your,
I
yeah,
was like, oh
it's
God,
coming.
so I had to lock my hands out.
Yeah,
Like, you're almost like this, right? At the end, then you drop.
Yeah,
kind
that's
of,
what
then
I'm
you
saying.
drop.
It feels like it, but if you have the mobility, you can
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's why, and so one of the regressions, if somebody can't do that, is literally to keep them on their knees, and then they just come up this way,
We used to teach spine.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did.
is a good way,
No, I'm better on board.
is a good way to,
Wait, so wait.
Practice
just
this.
moving from the ground, that's it, that's the difference.
yeah.
Okay. Any other regressions that you haven't gone over, that of all the flows you went over?
So far of what we've gone over,
Yeah,
no, just basically the side kick through so far.
okay.
So is that one.
And just the idea of
They can just stay on the ground.
Basically,
whenever I don't ever think about, when I teach crab, I don't ever think about like, hey, you could just have someone and then relax, right? Like, 'cause
But like,
we
that
always,
specific way that she's doing it lifts up your back.
not for me, but.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Upper back.
But what I'm saying is like, you always think like, oh, if someone's like, oh, my wrist hurt, when you start doing this, or like, oh, just like scratch the exercise, you could literally just have people like practice that movement, because over time, you're building.
Oh, I never thought
Yeah.
about climbing lifts or single arm lifts.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great one, yeah, it's a lot of cool.
Yeah. All right, let's piece those together a little bit. So we'll go set crab, under switch into a side kick through, under switch into loaded beast, wave unload, load your wave.
Got it.
And then we'll relax. I'm gonna call it out. I'm gonna call it out, but I'm just saying our starting and ending points. We're gonna start on our right side. So set crab, right leg under switch, into left leg side kick through. Left leg under switch into loaded beast. Good, drop those hips. Unload your, wave unload. On the tips of your toes if you can. Shift that weight forward. Chin is last. Beautiful, you guys look great. Good, tuck that chin. Round those, protract those shoulders. Let the wave drive your hips up. Back to loaded beast and relax. Yeah.
I think the wave is the hardest part.
It is difficult. It is difficult.
There'll be a lot of core.
Yeah.
See, I feel just like here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's like dying over here.
Now we'll do a front step. So from loaded beast, left leg front step. So my left leg is going to come right next to my right hand. One of the details here though is I want to lift my hand before I drop my foot. That's one of the details. So one of the regressions, if someone can't do that, doesn't have the power to do that, then step and then lift, right? You just break it down. But the goal is to lift the hand and then drop the foot.
Heel down, heel up.
Heel down.
Okay.
Heel down. Hand comes back, palm up. Elbow comes like straight back, right? So you're like this. Yeah, but you're a little closer. Get your front body a little bit closer. So your chest is up. Yeah. There you go. I feel my hips a lot in this position, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
My hips are so tight.
Good. Not good to that. I was watching you guys. Keep your heel down, Roger. You want to get your whole foot planted. Yep. So your foot is literally replacing your hand. Yeah. But keep that elbow high, not dropped. Yes. Palm facing forward. Like you're an animal, right? Like this is your claw. Mm-hmm. I honestly do it as part of my warm-ups. I love it. It's so much, and to me it's fun. So now we're gonna, that's a left leg front step. That's one move. And then the next to that is front step through. So left leg front step through. I'm gonna bring that leg through. Now, again, externally rotated, but now you see my toes and my fingers are both pointing forward, right? Same direction. Now my hand though is in a guarded position, not back like this, like side kick through, but it's up in my guard, right? Working, getting more core work. Staying strong in that shoulder. What, question? Loaded beast, left leg front step, through. So you want to make sure that your window between your hand and your foot, this is your window, is wide enough that you have room to bring that leg through. Yeah. So again, how you would teach it if someone doesn't have the mobility to literally replace their hand with their foot, just have them step out wider like we would anyways, right? Keep that hand in a guard. There you go. Keep that foot planted, Taylor. So again, regression though, someone can't bring it all the way through, just have them come and sit like a hip, like sit through, right? Hit, yeah. And then extend, right? So if I come up here, just have them sit. And then literally, then they can slide the leg through to try to learn to get the movement. Yep. And here you want to stay externally rotated as well. So I'm here, right? And then pop back to loaded beast is the power move of it. Sorry guys, I went over time. Pop back. That's what makes it dynamic. And this is what I mean. This example right here is an
World's greatest position at that time.
No, I just went right into the front kick through. Yeah. So, oh, sorry. The power move of that, the next regression to the step through is the kick through. And that's where your power comes from. That's why animal flow is so great, because it literally works so much in once. So that would be, if I slow it down, here, here. Step back to loaded beast. Right leg front step, through. Return to loaded beast. And you can literally just drill, like what I just did right there, like you could drill that. You know what I mean? That's also the beauty of it. It doesn't have to be like a full-on flow, but just take these pieces. That can be an exercise for someone right there, you know?
Sure.